The needle slips through the fabric with practiced ease, each stitch a tiny rebellion against the chaos swirling around me. The community center hums with excited chatter as dozens of women work on their quilts for the annual charity auction. I'm supposed to be teaching them, but right now, I can barely keep my own hands steady. Brooklyn, honey, are you feeling all right? Emma's voice cuts through my concentration. You look pale. I force a smile, though the fluorescent lights above seem to spin. I'm fine. Just need some water. That's when I hear his voice, Michael, cutting through the background noise like a knife. He's not supposed to be here. This is my sanctuary, my escape. But there he stands in his perfectly pressed suit, phone in hand, talking loudly enough for everyone to hear. No, no, you don't understand. I never loved her. It was always about maintaining appearances. The whole marriage was a facade. The room goes quiet. Every head turns. The quilt slips from my fingers as my world narrows to a pinpoint. I try to stand, but my legs won't cooperate. The floor rushes up to meet me. Someone help her! Emma calls out. But Michael just laughs. That hollow, cruel sound I've grown to hate. Classic Brooklyn, always with the dramatics. This is exactly why I couldn't stay. Everything's always about her. I'm Brooklyn, and this is the moment my life shatters into 1,000 tiny pieces, like shards of broken glass scattered across the community center floor. Through the fog of humiliation, I hear gasps and whispers. Feel hands helping me up. See concerned faces swimming in and out of focus. But all I can focus on is Michael, standing there with that smirk I once found charming. You didn't have to do this here, I managed to say, my voice barely above a whisper. Where else would I find you? You're always at these pathetic little sewing circles. He waves his hand dismissively at the half-finished quilts. Playing teacher to a bunch of housewives when you could have been something more. I tried to help you aim higher, but you never listened. Rachel, my best friend, steps between us. Get out, Michael. You've done enough damage. Damage! He laughs again. I've done her a favor. Now she can stop pretending she's happy playing small-town craftsman. Maybe she'll finally grow up. The room spins again, but this time it's not from weakness. It's rage. Pure, molten rage that burns through the shock and hurt. I grab the edge of the table, steadying myself. You want to talk about pretending? My voice comes out stronger than I expect. How about pretending to be a decent human being for the past 8 years? He steps closer, lowering his voice. Don't make this uglier than it needs to be. I've already arranged to sell the house. Your things will be packed and moved to your parents by Friday. You what? The words hit like physical blows. That's our house. You can't. Actually, I can. Check the paperwork, sweetheart. It's all perfectly legal. Emma appears at my side with a glass of water, but I wave it away. The room has stopped spinning. Everything is crystal clear now. This isn't over, I tell him. His smile doesn't reach his eyes. It was over long before today. I just finally had the courage to admit it. He turns to leave, then pauses. Oh, and Brooklyn? Don't bother trying to contest anything. My lawyers are better than any you could afford on a sewing teacher's salary. As he walks out, leaving stunned silence in his wake, something inside me shifts. The hurt is still there, but underneath it, something darker takes root. Something that whispers of justice and vengeance. I look around at the unfinished quilts, each one representing hours of careful planning and precise execution. Maybe it's time to apply those same skills to something besides sewing. After all, Michael always did underestimate what I could accomplish when I put my mind to it. Rachel squeezes my shoulder. What are you going to do? I pick up my fallen needle, testing its sharp point against my finger. I'm going to show him exactly what this small-town craftsman is capable of. The cardboard box feels heavier than it should as I carry it up my parents' driveway. 8 years of marriage condensed into 3 boxes. It seems impossible, yet here we are. My mother stands in the doorway, wringing her hands like she used to do when I was sick as a child. Let me help you with that, sweetheart, she says, reaching for the box. I've got it, Mom. The words come out sharper than intended. The last thing I need right now is to be treated like I'm fragile. Inside, Linda, my father, sits at the kitchen table, laptop open, fingers tapping against the wood in that familiar rhythm that means she's plotting something. She barely looks up as I set the box down. "Have you checked your bank accounts?" she asks. "Linda!" my mother warns. "She just got here. And Michael's probably already 3 steps ahead of us, Susan. We need to act fast." The mention of his name makes my stomach clench. I sink into a chair, suddenly exhausted. I tried. He's changed all the passwords. Linda's typing intensifies. "Of course he has. Classic first move. Did you know he's been meeting with Richard Carlton? The real estate agent?" My head snaps up. "How do you—" "I still have friends at the country club." She finally meets my eyes. "He's listing properties that are in both your names." The room starts to spin again, but I force myself to stay upright. "He can't do that without my signature." "He can if he forged it." Linda's voice is cold, calculating, which, given his recent behavior, wouldn't surprise me. "Stop it, both of you," my mother interrupts, setting down cups of tea none of us asked for. "Brooklyn needs rest, not revenge plots. What I need is to not be talked about like I'm not here." I stand up, knocking against the table. Tea sloshes over the rim of the cups. And what I need is for someone to tell me how my entire life imploded in less than 24 hours. The silence that follows is deafening. My mother reaches for me, but I step back. "I'll be in my old room," I mutter, heading for the stairs. "Brooklyn!" Linda calls after me. "Rachel called while you were getting your things. She's worried about you." Of course she is. Everyone's worried about me. Poor, naive Brooklyn, who couldn't see what was happening right in front of her face. I'm halfway up the stairs when I hear them start arguing. "She needs time to process," my mother insists. "What she needs is to protect herself before he takes everything," Linda counters. "You didn't see his face at that charity event, Susan. This isn't just about leaving her. He wants to destroy her." Their voices fade as I reach my childhood bedroom. Everything's exactly as I left it. Debate team trophies, old sewing projects, photos of— I rip the prom picture off the wall before I can think about it too much. My phone buzzes. Rachel. "I'm fine," I answer before she can ask. "No, you're not." Her counselor voice. "But that's okay. What's not okay is you ghosting everyone who cares about you." I sit on the edge of my bed, running my fingers over the familiar quilt pattern. "I just need— If you say time, I'm coming over there right now." She pauses. "Actually, I'm coming over anyway. Your mom called me." "Of course she did." I lie back, staring at the ceiling. "Did she tell you about the real estate agent too?" "No, but Emma did. Apparently Michael's been busy. He's already got 3 properties listed." Something inside me snaps. 3? We only own 2 properties. Rachel's silence speaks volumes. Unless— The realization hits like a punch to the gut. "He's selling my studio, isn't he? The one I inherited from Grandma?" "Brooklyn!" "I'll call you back." I hang up before she can protest, practically flying down the stairs. Linda's already pulling up property records when I reach the kitchen. "I was wondering when you'd figure it out." "He can't sell that studio. It's not even in his name." "No," Linda agrees, turning the laptop so I can see. "But 3 months ago you signed it over to him. Or at least, someone signed your name." "The forgery is good. Really good. But the signature isn't mine." My mother touches my shoulder. "Honey, maybe we should—" "Don't!" I cut her off, my voice steady despite the rage building inside me. "Don't tell me to calm down. Don't tell me to take the high road." I look at Linda. "You still have contacts at the DA's office?" She nods, a small, satisfied smile playing at her lips. "Good. Because Michael's right about one thing. This isn't over, not by a long shot." The lock to my grandmother's studio clicks open, and my heart stops. Everything's wrong. The familiar scent of fabric and creativity is gone, replaced by the sterile smell of cleaning products. The walls are bare, no inspiration boards, no vintage patterns, No photographs of 3 generations of sewists. They cleared it out yesterday. A voice startles me. I turn to find a man standing in the doorway. Tall, dark-haired, wearing paint-splattered jeans. I'm Jason. I work in the studio next door. My fingers curl into fists. Who cleared it out? Some guys in a moving truck. Had paperwork and everything? He hesitates. Your husband was supervising. The word husband burns like acid. Ex-husband. Right, sorry. Jason steps inside, hands in his pockets. They took everything except this. He reaches behind a radiator and pulls out a small wooden box. I grabbed it when they weren't looking. Seemed important. My grandmother's button box. The last thing she gave me before she died. Inside, generations of stories told through salvaged buttons, each one carefully labeled with its history. Thank you, I whisper, clutching the box. My phone buzzes. Linda. Brooklyn, where are you? The realtor's showing the studio in 20 minutes. I'm already here. My voice sounds strange, distant. It's empty. What? That's impossible. The showing isn't until... She stops. Don't move. I'm calling our lawyer. But I'm barely listening. Through the window, I can see Michael across the street, talking to a couple in business attire. He's wearing that fake smile, the one I used to think was charming. He's here, I tell Linda. With buyers. Brooklyn, don't! I end the call and stride across the street, the button box still in my hands. Jason calls after me, but I keep walking. Prime location, completely renovated, Michael's saying. The previous tenant was running some kind of craft business, but... Craft business? The box feels heavy in my hands. Is that what you're calling my grandmother's legacy? The couple looks uncomfortable. Michael's smile doesn't waver. Brooklyn, this is a private showing. Private? Like how you privately forged my signature? Or how you privately cleared out 30 years of family history? Maybe we should come back another time, the woman suggests. No need. Michael's voice hardens. My wife is just having trouble accepting reality. Ex-wife, I correct him. And reality is that you're trying to sell property you don't own. Check the paperwork. He pulls out a folder. Everything's legal. Including this? I open the button box and pull out a small envelope. Grandma's original deed, naming me as sole owner, the one you couldn't find to forge. His smile slips just for a second. The couple exchanges glances. We'll be in touch, the man says quickly, and they hurry away. Michael waits until they're gone before his facade cracks. You're making a mistake. No, your mistake was thinking I'd just roll over and let you take everything. Everything? He laughs, but it's ugly. You want to talk about taking? How about 8 years of my life, playing along with your small-town dreams when I could have been something more? You could have left any time. And walk away with nothing? He steps closer. I earned this. Every fake smile at your silly sewing circles, every mind-numbing dinner with your parents, every moment pretending your pathetic little ambitions were enough. I earned this studio. Jason appears beside me. Everything okay here? Michael's eyes narrow. Mind your own business. The studio is my business, Jason says calmly, since I'm buying it. I turn to him, startled. Michael laughs again. Nice try, but it's already sold. Actually, Jason pulls out his phone, I just got confirmation from the bank. The sale's been blocked pending investigation of fraudulent documentation. Michael's face goes white. You... Also, Jason continues, I have security footage of yesterday's moving crew. Interesting timing, clearing out a property before it's legally sold. My phone buzzes again. Linda, probably with the lawyer. But for the first time since this nightmare began, I feel steady. You should go, Michael. My voice is quiet but firm. And whatever scheme you're running, whatever you think you're entitled to, it ends now. He opens his mouth, closes it. For a moment, I see something flicker in his eyes. Fear, maybe. Then he turns and walks away, his expensive shoes clicking against the pavement. Thank you, I tell Jason, for the button box, and don't thank me yet. He hands me a business card. I think we need to talk about what else your ex-husband's been up to, and I'm pretty sure you'll want to hear this. Jason's revelations about Michael sit like stones in my stomach as I drive to Rachel's office. The familiar counseling services sign offers no comfort today. Through the window, I can see her with a client, the same steady, compassionate presence she's always been. I check my phone again. 3 missed calls from Linda, 2 from Susan, a text from Emma about tomorrow's sewing class, and 1 email from Michael's lawyer, probably another threat wrapped in legal jargon. Rachel opens her door, ushering out her client. When she sees me, her professional smile falters. "You look like hell." "Thanks." I follow her inside, sinking into the worn leather chair. "Did you know Michael's been monitoring my bank accounts?" She closes the door carefully. "How did you find out?" "Jason showed me the evidence. Michael's been tracking every transaction since before we separated. He knew exactly when to move against the studio because he was watching my finances." Rachel sits down, her counselor mask slipping. "Brooklyn, don't." I hold up a hand. "Don't tell me to take the high road. He's been planning this for months, maybe years." "That's not what I was going to say." She leans forward. "I need to tell you something, and you're not going to like it." My chest tightens. "What?" "Michael came to see me, professionally, 6 months ago." The words hang in the air like smoke. I stand up, my legs unsteady. "You're his therapist?" "Was. For 3 sessions." She won't meet my eyes. "I terminated the relationship when I realized who he was." 3 sessions. I laugh, but it sounds wrong. "While you were helping me plan my future, you were counseling my husband?" "Ex-husband," she corrects softly. "And I couldn't tell you. Ethics." "Ethics." The word tastes bitter. "He's destroying everything I care about, and you're worried about ethics." "Brooklyn, sit down, please." She waits until I do. "There's more." During those sessions, Michael talked about things, plans. I couldn't say anything directly, but I tried to warn you. Memory hits like a slap. All those careful questions about financial independence, the suggestions to document everything, the urgent recommendations to change my passwords. "You knew." My voice sounds distant. "You knew what he was going to do." "I suspected, but I couldn't." "Break confidentiality." "Right." I stand again, steadier this time. "Funny how everyone who claims to care about me keeps having very good reasons for letting Michael win." "That's not fair." "No?" I move to the door. What's not fair is finding out my best friend chose professional ethics over warning me that my life was about to implode. "Where are you going?" "To do what I should have done from the start." My hand tightens on the doorknob. Stop trusting people who say they're protecting me and start protecting myself. "Brooklyn, wait!" She grabs my arm. "Whatever you're thinking about doing, remember who you are." I look at her hand, then her face. "That's the problem, Rachel. Everyone seems to think they know exactly who I am. The nice girl, the understanding wife, the forgiving friend." I pull away. "Maybe it's time to show them how wrong they are." "Don't let him turn you into something you're not." "Too late." I open the door. "He already did that. Now I'm just deciding what I want to become instead." Outside, my phone buzzes again. "Linda." This time I answer. "Jason just called me," she says without preamble. "We need to talk about what he found." "I'll be there in 20 minutes. I start my car. "And Linda, bring every file you have from when you worked with Michael's company. Every contract, every memo, everything." "Brooklyn, it's time to stop playing defense." I pull out of the parking lot, not looking back at Rachel's office. "Michael wants to destroy what I care about? Fine. Let's see how he likes having everything he values stripped away too." The sun is setting as I drive, casting long shadows across the road. Somewhere in the distance, storm clouds are gathering. Perfect weather for what's coming. Because Michael was right about one thing. I have been playing small, following rules, trying to be nice. But now? Now I'm ready to show him exactly what happens when you back someone into a corner and expect them to break. Time to start weaving a different kind of pattern, one stitch at a time. Linda spreads the files across her dining room table like she's dealing cards for a high-stakes game. Each document represents another piece of Michael's carefully constructed facade, and with every page I turn, my anger burns colder, more focused. He didn't just monitor your accounts, Linda says, tapping a spreadsheet. He was systematically moving money through shell companies for months. I pick up another document, recognizing Michael's signature. Using my studio as collateral. On the house. Jason leans against the doorframe, arms crossed. But that's not the interesting part. What is? He pulls out his phone, showing me an email chain. These companies? They all trace back to Richard Carlton. The real estate agent? My hands clench around the paper I'm holding. He's been working with Michael this whole time? Better? Jason's smile is sharp. He's Michael's silent partner in a development project. They're buying up properties all over town, including your grandmother's building. The pieces click together like a perfect seam. They're planning to demolish the historic district. Linda's typing furiously on her laptop. That would destroy half the local businesses, including Emma's shop. My voice sounds strange, even to me. And the community center. Brooklyn. Susan appears in the doorway, concern etched on her face. Your sewing class is starting in 20 minutes. I'd forgotten. Tuesday night beginners class, where I teach people how to create something beautiful from scattered pieces. The irony isn't lost on me. Cancel it, Linda suggests, not looking up from her screen. No. I gather my things, an idea taking shape. That's exactly where I need to be. Jason raises an eyebrow. You're going to teach a sewing class now? I'm going to start pulling threads. I check my phone. 3 messages from Emma about tonight's attendance. Most of my students are connected to the historic district somehow, and they all love to talk. Understanding dawns on Linda's face. Information gathering. More than that. I shoulder my bag. Michael and Richard think they're so clever, buying up properties in secret. But they forgot something important. What's that? In a small town, reputation is everything. I head for the door, then pause. Mom, can you call Rachel? Tell her I need her to stop by the class tonight. After what she did? Susan frowns. Because of what she did. My smile feels dangerous. She wants to make things right. This is her chance. The community center is buzzing when I arrive. Emma meets me at the door, talking fast about missing supplies and changed schedules, but I barely hear her. I'm watching the women setting up their machines, sharing gossip and laughs, completely unaware that their businesses, their community, is about to be bulldozed. Ladies! I call out, and the room quiets. Change of plans tonight. Instead of starting that quilt pattern, I want to tell you a story about greed and betrayal, and 2 men who think they can destroy our town without anyone noticing. Rachel slips in the back door as I begin speaking. Her counselor mask is gone, replaced by something harder, more determined. She catches my eye and nods once. Message received. By the time I finish talking, the room is silent except for the hum of tension. These women, shop owners, mothers, pillars of the community, they understand exactly what's at stake. What can we do? Emma asks, her voice tight. I pull out my phone, showing them the evidence Jason gathered. We start spreading the truth, carefully, strategically, one conversation at a time. Like stitches in a quilt, someone says. Exactly. I look around the room, meeting each pair of eyes. Michael thinks he can erase us because we're just small-town craftspeople. Richard believes we'll roll over and sell because we don't understand real business. Rachel steps forward. They don't know what's coming, do they? No. I start distributing copies of the documents. They don't. As the women begin planning, their voices rising with purpose and anger, I feel something shift inside me. This isn't just about my revenge anymore. It's about protecting something bigger than myself. My phone buzzes. A text from Michael. We need to talk. Dinner tomorrow? I type back one word. Yes. Because sometimes the best way to destroy someone is to let them think they're winning, one careful stitch at a time, until the pattern is complete and it's too late for them to see what you've been weaving all along. The annual town hall meeting buzzes with nervous energy. Every seat is filled, and I can feel the weight of expectant gazes as I clutch my folder of evidence. Michael stands at the podium, his practiced smile never wavering as he presents the Downtown Revitalization Project. Progress requires change, he's saying, gesturing to Richard's sleek architectural renderings. Our historic district has charm, but it's holding us back from real economic growth. Linda squeezes my hand. Now, she whispers. I stand, my legs steadier than I expected. I have some questions about this project. Michael's smile tightens almost imperceptibly. Of course, Brooklyn, always supporting local interests. Actually, I'm more interested in these. I start distributing copies of documents. Bank statements showing systematic fraud, forged signatures, shell companies used to hide property acquisitions. The room erupts in murmurs. Michael's face hardens as he flips through the papers. These are confidential business documents, he says smoothly. Obtained illegally, I might add. Nothing illegal about following a paper trail of fraud, Jason calls from the back. But Michael's smiling again, and something in his expression makes my stomach drop. Speaking of paper trails, he says, pulling out his phone, I have some interesting documents of my own. Emails, actually, between Brooklyn and various community members, planning to deliberately sabotage a legitimate business venture. The room goes quiet. I feel the shift in the air as people start looking at their copies of my evidence differently. That's not, I start, but he cuts me off. Conspiracy, defamation, tortious interference. He lists them like he's reading a shopping list, all documented in black and white. Your grandmother taught you to sew, Brooklyn, but I taught you how to keep records. Rachel stands up. Those emails were private conversations. Between my therapy client and other community members, Michael interrupts, which makes them privileged information that you illegally shared, Rachel. Interesting ethical position for a counselor. The room erupts again, but this time the voices are angry, confused, accusatory. I see Emma shrinking in her seat, other business owners avoiding my eyes. This isn't about emails, I say, fighting to keep my voice steady. It's about protecting our community. From what? Richard Carlton steps forward. From investment? Growth? Or just from your ex-husband moving on? You forged my signature, I snap. Prove it. Michael's voice is gentle, reasonable. Without using illegally obtained documents or privileged communications, prove any of it. The silence that follows is deafening. I look around the room, seeing doubt creep across faces that minutes ago were supportive. Linda starts to stand, but Michael's next words freeze her in place. Oh, and Linda, the board of directors would love to discuss how you accessed corporate files after your retirement. Tomorrow morning, perhaps? My carefully woven plan unravels thread by thread. Every ally I counted on is compromised, every piece of evidence tainted. Michael has turned my own tactics against me, making me look like exactly what he accused me of being. Small, bitter, vindictive. This meeting is adjourned, the mayor announces, looking uncomfortable. Pending legal review of all materials presented. People file out quickly, avoiding eye contact. Rachel touches my shoulder as she passes, but doesn't speak. Even Jason slips away, his expression unreadable. I'm sorry about this, Michael says quietly, gathering his things. But you forced my hand. Again. How long? My voice sounds hollow. How long were you planning this? Since the day you chose that studio over the job offer I arranged in the city. He straightens his tie. Small towns breed small minds, Brooklyn. I tried to help you think bigger. By destroying everything I care about? By showing you what real power looks like. He steps closer, his voice for my ears only. Did you really think your little sewing circle could outmaneuver me? That your community would choose you over progress? I stand there, surrounded by scattered papers and abandoned chairs, watching everything I thought I knew about strength and justice crumble around me. The historic district, my grandmother's legacy, my own reputation, all hanging by threads I can't seem to gather. The demolition starts next week, Michael says from the doorway. You might want to find a new hobby. I hear knitting is therapeutic. The door closes behind him, leaving me alone with the echoes of my failed revenge and one haunting question. What happens when the weapon you choose to fight with becomes the very thing that destroys you? The demolition crew arrives at dawn. I watch from across the street as they set up barriers around my grandmother's studio, their yellow vests bright against the gray morning. Michael stands with Richard, checking something on a tablet, looking more exhausted than triumphant. I grip my coffee cup tighter, remembering Rachel's last text. He's been in therapy for months. Severe anxiety disorder. It might explain things. The cup trembles. I set it down. A small crowd gathers as the crew starts removing windows. Emma appears beside me, then Linda, then others from my sewing class. No one speaks. We just watch as they strip away decades of memories, piece by piece. Quite a turnout, Michael says, suddenly behind me. Come to witness progress? I turn. The shadows under his eyes are deeper than yesterday, his usual polish cracking at the edges. Why didn't you tell me? Tell you what? About the anxiety, the therapy. His face hardens. Rachel had no right. No, she didn't. Just like you had no right to forge my signature or steal my inheritance. I didn't steal anything. His voice rises slightly. I saved you from yourself, from this. He gestures at the building. This obsession with living small. A crash makes us both jump. The first wall starts coming down. You know what's funny? I keep my voice steady. I actually thought I was the weak one. That you were somehow stronger, smarter, better at life than me? Brooklyn. But strong people don't need to destroy others to feel powerful, do they? His laugh sounds hollow. Says the woman who tried to destroy me at the town hall? No. I step closer. I tried to expose the truth. You're the one who made it about destruction. Another crash. More of the wall crumbles. The truth? He runs a hand through his disheveled hair. The truth is, I couldn't breathe in this town. Every day watching you play house with your little sewing circles, pretending it was enough. It was enough for me. It was killing me. The words explode from him. The crowd stirs, watching. The panic attack started 3 years ago. Every morning, waking up knowing I'd waste another day in this cage you called home. The demolition pauses. Even the workers are watching now. You could have talked to me, I say softly. Like you talked to me? Before turning our private life into community gossip? That's different. Is it? His voice cracks. You wanted revenge because I hurt you. I wanted freedom because this place was suffocating me. Tell me, Brooklyn, which of us is really the villain here? The question hangs in the air like dust from the demolition. I look at the half-destroyed studio, then at the crowd. Linda's fierce protectiveness, Emma's quiet strength, even Rachel's complicated loyalty. All the threads that make up a life I chose, not settled for. Neither of us, I finally say. Or maybe both of us. But this? I gesture at the demolition. This isn't freedom, Michael. It's just another cage you're building for yourself. He stares at me for a long moment. Something shifts in his expression. Recognition, maybe, or resignation. Stop the demolition, he calls out suddenly. Richard steps forward. Michael, the permits! I said stop. His composure cracks completely. All of it. The development, the sales, everything. I can't do this anymore. The workers power down their equipment. The silence feels deafening. It won't fix anything, I tell him quietly. No. He looks at me with eyes I barely recognize. Vulnerable, almost afraid. But maybe that's not the point anymore. As the crowd disperses and the workers pack up, I stand in front of my grandmother's damaged studio. The wall can be rebuilt, but some things, trust, innocence, simple certainties, will stay broken. Michael pauses before leaving. I really did love you, you know. just not enough to become small. And I loved you, I reply, just not enough to become something I'm not. He nods once and walks away. I watch him go, feeling neither victory nor defeat, just the weight of understanding that sometimes the greatest act of revenge is choosing not to take it at all. Behind me, Emma touches my shoulder. What now? I look at the studio, its broken wall like an open wound, but also like a window to something new. Now, I say, we rebuild, but differently this time. The renovated studio smells of fresh paint and possibility. Sunlight streams through new windows, catching dust motes that dance like scattered memories. I run my hand along the workbench my grandmother installed decades ago, the only piece we managed to save from the demolition. The contractor says we can open next week, Emma says, setting down a box of supplies, though I still think Phoenix Studio is a bit on the nose. Sometimes obvious is good. I straighten a framed photograph. The original studio on opening day. 3 generations of women standing proud. Speaking of obvious, have you seen Jason lately? Emma's expression tightens. Not since he tried to buy the building out from under us. Funny how he disappeared once his development plans fell through. Not funny, strategic. I check my phone. Another missed call from Rachel. Some people are only interested in broken things they can profit from. The bell above the door chimes. Linda enters, carrying familiar papers. The final transfer documents, she says, laying them on the workbench. Once you sign, the studio's officially yours again. No partners, no strings. I pick up the pen, then pause. Have you heard from Michael? He's in Seattle. Linda's voice is carefully neutral. Started therapy again, apparently. The pen feels heavy in my hand. I think about Michael's last words about becoming small, about the way revenge can shrink your world even when you think you're fighting to expand it. Brooklyn? Emma touches my arm. The afternoon class is waiting. I look through the interior window to the classroom space. Women of all ages are setting up their machines, chatting, sharing stories. Not just a sewing circle anymore, but a business incubator program. My grandmother's legacy reimagined. 1 minute, I tell her. I sign the papers quickly, then reach for my grandmother's button box. Inside, nestled among generations of salvaged buttons, lies a small key. What's that for? Linda asks. The future. I hand her the box. Would you add these to the memory wall? All except this one. I hold up a pearl button, slightly cracked but still beautiful. This one goes back to its owner. The afternoon sun is warm as I walk the familiar path to Rachel's office. She opens the door before I knock, surprise flickering across her face. I was just about to call again, she says. I know. I hold out the button. Remember this? From your wedding dress fitting? She takes it, recognition softening her features. The one that popped off. You said you'd fix it, but then everything fell apart. I step back. Some things can't be fixed, Rachel, but they can be remembered, honored, and then let go. Understanding passes between us, years of friendship distilled into a single moment. The studio reopening, she says. Should I? Come, don't come. It's your choice. I turn to leave. Just like it's my choice to stop letting broken things define me. Back at the studio, the class is in full swing. Emma's teaching a new technique, her voice confident and clear. Linda and Susan sit in the back, working on a joint project for the first time in years. The memory wall gleams with buttons and photographs, each one a story of something lost or found or transformed. I take my place at the front workbench, the same spot where my grandmother taught me that every torn seam is an opportunity to create something stronger. The students look up expectantly, machines humming, threads ready. Today, I tell them, we're going to learn about reconstruction, about taking something damaged and making it not just whole again, but different. Better. A new student raises her hand. What if we make a mistake? I think about Michael, about Jason, about all the tangled threads of revenge and redemption that led me here. About how sometimes the strongest patterns emerge from unexpected breaks in the design. In sewing, like in life, I say, threading my needle, there are no mistakes, only alterations that show us who we really are. The late afternoon light catches the memory wall, making the buttons shimmer like stars, each one a small, imperfect circle, like the path I took to get here, like the journey from vengeance to understanding, like the endless cycle of breaking and mending that makes up a life. I begin to sew, adding my own stitch to the endless pattern.